Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back to watch another episode of Wednesday. This is episode 5. It is called Reap What You Woe. Last episode was a doozy. It was the big dance episode with the goofy choreography and the sprinklers of blood pouring down on everyone. But then the episode ended with Eugene getting murdered by the beast, whoever the beast is. It was murdered, or it murdered Eugene, and ripped my favorite character. Eugene is the GOAT. I love him to death until death do us part, as it did last episode. But I'm very excited to jump into this next episode. So before we do that, if you like my reaction, please leave a like on the video. If you're new here, hit subscribe, and then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider checking out my Patreon that is linked in the description below. Your support over there would mean the world. But otherwise, let's jump into episode 5 of Wednesday. Flashback episode.
What really happened that stormy night 32 years ago?
Well, it definitely looks like he killed that guy.
It's all Morticia Frump's fault. They were fighting over her.
I mean, that doesn't make it her fault. Well, he obviously gets exonerated somehow.
I hope Wednesday's happy to see us. I left a dozen
Not
messages
likely.
on her crystal ball, still no reply.
Fret not, my plum.
Yeah, she's busy embroiled in a murder investigation.
I realize most of you have heard about the unfortunate incident involving one of our students. But I'm happy to report that Eugene is on the mend and is expected to make a full recovery.
Oh. Gang, Eugene. What about the other kid that got murdered?
Trying a coma.
There she is. Oh, how we miss those accusing eyes and youthful sneer.
Yeah, where did he get a hot dog?
I thought Thing was filling you in on my every move. I uncovered your feeble subterfuge almost immediately.
So how's the little fella doing? Does he still have all his fingers?
Yeah, technically.
Since you've abandoned me here, I've been hunted, haunted,
And fell in
target of
love.
an attempted murder.
Ah, nevermore. I love you so.
Gabrielle hasn't shown her face since I started here. Probably sunning herself somewhere in the Seychelles.
My darling daughter,
Oh, bet she's here.
I made it. Wouldn't miss this for the world.
What you doing here? Is there some secret society things that are going down?
You always filled a room with your presence, like a stately sequoia tree.
And I guess that would make you
Yeah.
the lumberjack.
She's very tall.
Your Judy Garland impression was a dead ringer.
Sounds positively suicidal.
We've always encouraged Wednesday to speak her mind. Sometimes a sharp tongue can cut deep.
Apparently her therapist feels she hasn't been very open to the process.
Well, her therapist sucks, so if we're being real, her words shouldn't be taken with very much value.
You got one kid in the ICU, a bunch of people in the morgue. I don't want any more. All right.
So you gonna try and make a scene? You gonna cause a conflict?
Bitch. What's wrong?
Don't say that about your son.
You okay? What's going on? You know Reggie, the local
He would have had a lot bigger reaction.
He just blew his brains out.
What? Why? Reggie. He was gonna retire. Why would he do that?
Enough! I think it's high time my parents faced the music. It seems they've been lying to me.
Ooh. they have to be truthin' in the therapy session.
Who was Garrett Gates and why are you accused of murdering him?
Those charges were dropped. Your father is an innocent man.
Local sheriff doesn't seem too convinced.
Wednesday, stop.
Hey, this is therapy, baby.
Thanks for the candy.
It's not candy.
Actually, that's potpourri. Why don't you take the bowl?
Don't keep eating it.
Your father did nothing wrong.
I'll be the judge of that.
I mean, technically, I think the judge was probably the judge of that. It's probably a reason that the charges were dropped.
We are a personal development movement that helps people take control of their lives.
Ask
What?
them to take control of their bank accounts.
I haven't come here to fight.
Is her mom a
My name is
Scientologist?
Bianca. That place was never my home.
Gideon said you'd resist.
Don't.
Gideon is such a cult name.
My siren song is drying up.
Oh, so you need her.
You're just scamming a higher class of people, but they're not your friends.
Why does her audio sound so weird?
A siren can never change her scales. You got until the end of the weekend to say your goodbyes.
Nah, F that. Who cares how she got into the school? She's been riding it for a while. Might as well let her graduate.
The bees miss you, Eugene. We all do.
Oi, Thing. About time you appear.
Didn't mean to startle you, dear.
You must be Wednesday, Eugene's mom's.
Oh. What's up?
He was so happy you joined the Hummers.
Eugene hasn't had the easiest time fitting in at Nevermore.
Yeah, it's because he's kind
I'm
of
so
a dork.
excited.
But he's the best. Don't cry. Bro, ain't no way this guy killed himself.
First time someone's killed themselves in the morgue.
He was retiring. He was gonna go to Barbados or something with his wife.
Suicide note says he felt guilty about an old case. Says he covered it up, faked the coroner's report, and has been living with that guilt for all these years.
Interesting.
Garrett Gates?
Garrett Gates, you gotta be kidding me.
That's creepy. It's very haunting. Honestly, it looks way cooler. You could turn this into a Halloween town. Is it Garrett Gates' grave? Is it? Ooh, it is. Interesting.
So, are you gonna make me ask?
Yes.
Ajax and I haven't defined our relationship yet.
Have you wolfed out yet?
Almost.
No.
Well, that is a disappointment.
Yo, don't arrest him on Parents' Day. Come on.
Gomez Adams. You're under arrest for the murder of Garrett Gates. Do the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of
Isn't
law.
the statute of limitations up? Is that a thing in this case? Does Bianca's mom appearing have anything to do with this? Did she siren sing the coroner to kill himself?
Garrett was infatuated with your mother. He mistook her kindness for interest. It all came to a head the night of the Raven dance. Your mother and I stepped out to catch our breath.
I don't think you're doing much breathing there, Gomez.
His eyes bore into me, brimming with murderous intent.
Go!
He looks like he would turn into a werewolf.
Driven by jealousy and hate, Garrett
Dude's a pretty decent sword fighter. You got this, Gomez.
When I saw the sword, my survival instinct kicked in.
Dude looks like he hasn't slept in a month. Well, kid deserved it.
You are the reason I understand how imperative it is that I never lose sight of myself. So as far as fatherhood goes, I would say you've been more than adequate.
Dang. Nice. He's gonna cry. Don't make him cry.
This is about justice being served. Garrett Gates' family deserves closure, even if none of them are around to take comfort in it. His mother hung herself in the backyard, his father drank himself to an early grave, and even his little sister didn't escape. She was orphaned,
Damn.
sent overseas, ended up drowning. So your father doesn't just have Garrett's blood on his hands, he's got the whole damn family's.
Okay. His little sister's not dead. Maybe his little sister's behind this. I figured it out.
I brought you a gift.
Figured it out. I figured it out. Thornhill, the normie teacher, is Garrett Gates' little sister. I'm calling it. I'm calling it, and she's behind everything. Summer camp.
So camps for lycanthropy conversion?
No need to be dramatic.
Is this-
Ned.
You want to send me to conversion therapy for werewolves?
It worked wonders for your cousin Lucille, didn't it?
Is this supposed to be like a parallel or a...
Father packed her favorite bait.
What if she pushes him in? A grenade? I don't know if that counts as bait.
Come on. Let's see if the fish are biting.
Just chucks a grenade into the water.
Hello, Mother.
Didn't think she'd find this place, eh?
Our mission was to protect outcasts from harm and bigotry. In fact, the group was started by an ancestor of your father's from Mexico. One of the first settlers in America.
Goody.
Oh, gang gang. We like Goody. And you had visions about her.
Father didn't kill Garrett Gates, did he?
Oh, Morticia did.
I'll never forget the way he looked at me. He was even foaming at the mouth.
Damn. Oh, is he... So maybe he wasn't fully under control.
Your father was so calm and brave.
Damn, so when when the principal said it was all Morticia's fault, kind of true.
This reminds me of when you got your first grave digging kit. You were so happy you nearly smiled.
Moment of truth.
What if he's not there? You weird kid.
You're both under arrest.
Get comfortable. You can post bail in the morning.
They're thrilled to be here. like a make out in jail.
Garrett was dying.
Before you stabbed him.
But
You look even more ravishing
you still
than
completed the murder.
Prove to me you're still worthy to be called my son! Kill all those outcasts.
Oh.
Sneak into that dance and spike the punch bowl.
Oh.
That blue sheen is a telltale sign of nightshade poisoning.
But you already knew that, didn't you? Because back when you were sheriff,
You
were
covered
in
it
charge
up.
of the case and covered it up.
My job was to keep the peace. Now, if there had been a trial, both Jericho's and Nevermore's reputations would have been trashed.
I think the only reputation
Fair,
you're worried about
but
ruining
still.
is your own.
Yeah.
What I resent is that you could have prevented Garrett's death if you had done your job when I lodged my complaint about him stalking me. Men like you
That's
have
true.
no idea what it feels like not to be believed.
Damn, Morticia. Tell him how it is.
When did your visions begin?
Monday.
You're a raven,
Ooh, like Edgar Allan Poe.
but we're not trained by the living.
Dead people
Somebody
train you?
from our bloodline reaches out from beyond to help us.
Hey, Goody Adams.
Goody has. I've seen her before.
Be careful, Wednesday.
She was crazy.
Sorry about all this.
I don't hold grudges.
Dang. They ended things remarkably amicably. Yeah, who's that little girl? Yes, silent Swedish father.
I'm proud of you, kiddo.
No longer silent. Or Swedish.
I knew you didn't have what it takes to be a murderer.
As much as that stings, gracias, my little death trap.
Wow, stood a little bit closer. That was her version of accepting a hug.
I did witness Roan getting murdered that night.
Excuse me.
When Roan appeared the next morning, it was you. You're a shapeshifter.
God damn, she's so tall.
You won't tell us so.
Majestic oak tree.
His telekinetic abilities were driving him mad, and he attempted to murder you twice. His tragic death allowed us to rectify the situation without casting the school or Rowan in an unflattering light.
Kinda.
I did what I needed to do to shield the school from controversy and protect its
Controversy.
students from harm.
Tell that to Eugene.
Yeah,
How are you protecting him?
damn straight. The camera angles in this scene are so interesting.
What on earth?
Oh, someone set their tree ablaze? No, someone set something ablaze. Fire will rain? Damn. That's crazy. Okay. Another solid episode of Wednesday. We learned a lot about the past. A lot about Gomez and Morticia and the murder that he was accused of. We learned how it really happened. And that it was actually Morticia's fault. Actually. You know, when the principal was like, it's Morticia's fault. Like, she was telling the truth. It was her fault. But that's very interesting that Morticia had a boy that was crazy about her, and the principal was crazy about Gomez. Very interesting. Parents' Weekend was quite the event. We had different parents from all sorts of groups coming together and not really getting along with their kids. we had Enid's parents coming, and they drew like an interesting parallel with her, with like her werewolf ability or whatever, and being gay. Interesting choice. To, I wonder if they're gonna dig deeper into that. Like if that becomes a larger storyline, like the specifically the parallel between like her being not able to werewolf and her being potentially gay. I don't know. Like if they turn that into a situation where like maybe down the line we find out that Enid is also gay. I don't know. It just like if they leave it surface level like that, and they don't really revisit the whole issue of like her parents wanting to send her to a conversion camp, it feels weirdly placed in there. I mean, maybe they wanted to just add in a brief parallel to you know, parent child relations in the modern day, but I don't know. It just felt weirdly placed. And then Bianca's mom is like a Scientologist. She's part of a cult. And her like chief role in this cult is like manipulating people to join. But why did she join? Is the question. I don't know. But she needs her daughter to join the cult as well and boost numbers. And because her power is going away, and so maybe she's going to be on the outs of this cult if she, you know, ever eventually loses her powers completely, and she needs Bianca to come in and rectify the situation somehow. I don't know necessarily like how that would happen. Like, is she just going to recruit a ton more people to this cult? Is she going to manipulate the leader of the cult to like let her mom stay? I don't know. But then she's like, after this, like, you guys are out of my life completely. I don't know if that would work that way. Like, I mean, I guess if her mom is losing her power, she couldn't really manipulate her to stay in that fashion, but she could probably find a way to make her stay. Like, I don't know if they would allow that to be a short-term thing, but very interesting that her mom is in a cult. That's just so weird. Yeah, and then back to Gomez and Morticia. You know, a lot of the episode is they're not combative. Wednesday is combative towards them because she is upset that they're like hiding secrets, and she learns the truth, and by the end of the episode they are all closer together as a family, which is nice. I kind of like that they're, you know, less like they outwardly enjoy each other more, or at least Wednesday outwardly enjoys her parents more, from that perspective, which is nice. Again, we learn that Gomez took the fall, kind of, for Morticia, but then was cleared of all charges anyway, because it was a cover-up. And we learn, okay, this is the big part, that like pieces of my theory are coming, like huge pieces are coming into play. So last episode, I said that I thought Thornhill, Christina Ricci's character, is the bad guy. And this episode further solidified that, in my opinion, because they talked about how, you know, what's his face, Garrett Gates, he was killed. He had like nightshade. Well, he was, first of all, he was killed because he got nightshade poisoned. He was going to die anyway. And he was doing it at the direction of his father, who like hates all these outcasts. And then his father ended up dying, his mother ended up dying, but his little sister was like sent overseas somewhere, and was never heard from again. And so they just assumed that she died. I'm 9,000% confident that she did not die, and she came back, and she is Miss Thornhill, because that would be like probably the right age. She'd be slightly younger than, you know, Wednesday's parents, and that lines up with Christina Ricci's character's age in this. And she's a normie. She's the only normie teacher. So I think it's lining up. It's lining up that she's the bad guy. Maybe she came to this school because she wanted revenge on all these outcasts for like the death of her brother and the seeming downfall of the rest of her family. She probably has a lot of money because they were rich, I guess. But if she's a normie, that's the question, is how is she, maybe she's not a normie and she's like a werewolf monster thing. I don't know exactly what type of monster, but she could be the monster. That would be interesting. Otherwise, I don't know. I just know she's a bad guy. Like, she's involved in this, whether it be like she's the monster or she's like the mastermind behind the monster. I don't know, but I'm so freaking confident that she is the bad guy, and if I'm proven wrong, I'm gonna look real dumb, but I'm pretty confident at this point. Like, it makes too much sense, right? Because there's that was almost meant to be like, it was when the sheriff was talking about the family, it was just casual enough where like it probably could slip by people, but they placed just enough emphasis on that line of dialogue, if that makes sense. Like, they didn't place too much to make it obvious that you need to look out for the missing daughter, but it was like the perfect mix between just casual enough but not too casual, with just a tiniest bit of emphasis on the fact that the daughter was never seen again, to know that that's going to be a major plot point. And the only person that it could be would be Thornhill. And so I'm locking that theory in. How many episodes are left? 3, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, I don't know when at what point she will be revealed, but I'm locking that in. I'll bet $1 trillion to anyone who's watching this video. She is a bad guy in some regard. And I'll shake hands on that. This can be your viewer hand. Agreement. If I'm right, you all owe me money. No, this was solid. I like that Eugene is not dead. I think that might be my favorite part of the episode, is that Eugene is alive. He's in a coma, but he's alive. And his mom's kind of slightly bonded with Wednesday. You know, Eugene talks about her. Oh, little Hummer Club captain talks about Wednesday. And they're just so happy that he made a friend, because he's kind of a little dork and he doesn't make friends easily. But I love that about him. He's just a goofy weirdo. And I'm so glad that he's alive. I hope we see him come out of his coma by the end of the season. Maybe that aids in the reveal for who it is. I'm very curious. What else? I guess we could talk about the end of the episode. So Wednesday confronts the principal and essentially kind of affirms the truth that we as viewers knew already, that the principal is a shapeshifter and that they covered up the death of Rowan. We were kind of always wondering why, but her answer does make sense. Like, and it's not necessarily even the most nefarious of reasons for covering that up, right? Like, Rowan's visions were driving him insane, and he had attempted to kill another student twice. Now, covering that up is an easy way to rectify the situation of he's no longer going to try and kill Wednesday all the time. And it makes the situation go away without necessarily painting the school in a negative light, or the son in a negative light. I mean, maybe the other students at the school might be confused and be like, oh, he's expelled. He must be kind of a weird, bad kid. But other than that, like, that's super minor surface level, like, criticism of the child. So all in all, like, that's pretty solid. Like, I don't know if that could have worked out better. If your son goes insane and tries to kill a student but then gets murdered by a monster, I mean, you still have to figure out the monster part and stop that. But in terms of Rowan, it's kind of not the worst way to resolve that. So I know Wednesday definitely is seeing the principal in a very negative light, and there's a little bit of vitriol between them at the moment, but I mean, I can't fault the principal a ton for covering it up like, for the reasons they covered it up, but, you know, the truth will come out eventually, and I'm curious what the outcome of that will be. But then in the grass, there's burning letters saying, "Fire will rain." Like, what? Thornhill, did you do this? You creeping weirdo. I'm very curious what is going to happen there. Man, I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. Solid episode, though. Really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next episodes and my theory being proven right, because I'm so confident. Like, I'm getting cocky at this point. Like, oh, I hope this doesn't backfire, because that's really embarrassing if it does. But no, this is a solid episode. I liked it a lot. Definitely let me know down in the comments what you thought about the episode. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed my reaction, leave a like on the video. If you're new here, hit subscribe. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. That would mean the world. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.